Your Florida Gators, including news, analysis, and opinions with some of the biggest names in sports. Find us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Or watch us live at 8 a.m. on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter.
Happy Labor Day, folks. It is PodUp with Matthews in the morning, coming to you live from the International Diamond Center Studios, locations across the great state of Florida, and right there in Celebration Point in the heart of Gator Nation. Go check them out. That's your friends at International Diamond Center. Don't forget, Comfort Temp Heating and Air is also your number one local HVAC company. ComfortTemp.com is where you can check them out. We got a good show today. We got JC, then we'll also have our man Mike Morgan. He called the game on national radio, I believe, for the Baylor-Auburn game. A lot of good stuff to discuss today. Let's get right to it. On the Titan Mark text line, courtesy of Comfort Temp, is our man JC. Good morning, JC. How are you?
Hey, man. Doing well. Happy Labor Day to everybody. I'm sure everybody had a good time on Saturday. It was a lot of fun getting out there and supporting the team, watching football for the first time in 7 months. And, QB, it's kind of hard to tell much because of who Florida was playing, but just watching them run around out there and have their way with somebody was, I guess, kind of fun for some folks. I was impressed with a lot of guys I had never really expected to or seen before. The first, of course, being Tramel Jones, with the way he looked, going 12 of 18 for 131 with 2 touchdown passes, some really sharp throws. I liked the way George Gumps played, and Jeremiah McLeod was pretty good. Jaden Ball doing what Jaden Ball does. How about 0 penalties, in the game? So that was something that I didn't expect. And then the biggest thing for me, QB, was that in a game like this, the Gators come out of it with what's coming up with nobody hurt. So I liked that, of course, and the next 5 weeks it's gonna get much more real for the Gators, and it'll be fun to see how they do.
Yeah, my thoughts on the game. It went exactly how I anticipated. Yeah. Long Island was just, God bless them, they were a bad football team. We struggled at times blocking them, which I was surprised. I thought DJ was extremely rusty. Left the pocket sometimes way too soon. Missed some really open guys. The great catch that Vernell Brown III made should have been a walk-in touchdown if he sees him, but he escaped the pocket. But he was rusty. We knew he was going to be rusty because he had not participated. Yeah. On the other hand, Tramel Jones was phenomenal. It did not matter who the opponent was. I haven't seen a quarterback, especially a true freshman guy, who didn't even play his senior year because he was hurt, take his steps and know where to go with the football. And he had different pace on his throws, different trajectory. I was blown away at Tramel Jones, quite honestly. The Gators are in good shape at the quarterback position. Receivers made plays. Defense did what I thought they would do. The score in the first series. But LIU is a bad football team. What I take away from the weekend, JC, that Florida has had a difficult schedule, but the teams on their schedule are damn good, man.
Yeah, I know.
LSU is. I know people don't want. I've been talking about LSU all summer long. They are loaded and they are very good. I was impressed with Miami last night. Miami looked extremely fast and physical. I think Notre Dame. What I take away from the Texas Ohio State game, Miami, Notre Dame, LSU, Clemson, every one of those teams are probably going to make the playoffs. I really believe that.
Well, I definitely don't. I don't see any way that Clemson doesn't make it in the ACC. I do think, though, I was impressed with some teams in the ACC that I didn't expect. Obviously, the one in Tallahassee, but I mean, look, LSU, to me, I agree with you. They took a touchdown away from LSU in that game. I'm so over this carry the progress through the play or whatever it is that they take away these touchdowns from these kids that make these catches. It happened in South Carolina yesterday. It happened at LSU, at Clemson. Those were touchdowns, folks. You get the ball across the the goal line, you're inbounds, it's a touchdown. I don't need to see what happens if the ball moves 3 centimeters once he hits the ground. I don't need to see that. That's a touchdown. So I agree with you. LSU to me was the team that I thought had the biggest night, because even though Miami won, it was a home game. But what LSU was able to do at Clemson, QB, we both picked Clemson. And I thought
No. I picked LSU to not win the game, but to cover.
You did. Yes, you did. You're right.
I went 3-3, and you went 2-4, I believe, in the picks that we had on the program.
Did you take Ohio State?
I did not. I took Texas, but Zach posted them on the show that day.
All I got is
he can repost them.
Well, did you take Auburn? You took Auburn. Yeah.
I did.
Yeah,
I took Auburn.
That's 3-3. Correct. Yep. Not a good pick day for us, or for me, I should say. 2-4.
Well, 3-3. I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nat here on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Phone, says, JC, okay, what happened in Tallahassee?
Well.
Here's the bottom line.
Okay.
Gus Malzahn has a running quarterback, and he can dial them up with a running quarterback.
Yeah.
And
I don't
let's
know.
Let's be honest. Alabama is not what Alabama used to be. I think they have a great roster, but I mean, this stat right here blows you away right here. Kalen DeBoer is 6-4 against unranked teams, and he's 6-0 against Sarkisian, Dan Lanning, and Kirby Smart. Think about that.
I don't think Nick Saban ever lost to an unranked team. But the reality is that this is, to me, it seemed like, in watching them with the effort on defense, you really tell a lot by how your defense plays in terms of their effort. And I saw very little on Alabama's side. It's the same thing I've been watching for the last 2 years, frankly. And it looked like to me a Pac-12 coached team, coached by a guy who coached in the Pac-12, playing a team that was more physical, won the line of scrimmage, and had a quarterback that made plays. This guy threw for 150 yards, and they won the game. That shouldn't happen against Alabama. It did. I'm looking at a team that's just in chaos. I think it's 7-5, 6-6 if they're lucky. I think they're losing to Georgia. They're losing to LSU. Now, remember, this is week 1, and we always overreact, right? But they're losing to LSU. They're losing to Tennessee. They'll lose to Georgia. They'll lose to Vanderbilt with that quarterback. They will probably lose to Auburn. I mean, it's going to be a brutal season. And the problem for Alabama fans is that you're stuck with this guy for at least another 3 or 4 years. Too much money. Yep. I'm done defending him, though, QB. I'm not defending him anymore. I did that all year last year. Those losses to Oklahoma and Vanderbilt were unbelievable. They won games against LSU and Georgia, and it's just strange. I just didn't see an effort on that defensive side. So that's what happened. So since you asked here on the show, that's what happened to Alabama. We both saw it. We all know.
Braun71 says on YouTube, brought to you by Quad Tom, give Notre Dame a semi-experienced QB and they win that game last night. Maybe. I thought their quarterbacks played really well down the stretch. I think he's going to be good. Look, I know we hate Miami. That's the best Miami. Now, it's one game. I think that team looks better than their team they had last year. I just thought they had dudes everywhere flying around. I thought their line of scrimmage was what impressed me the most. I was surprised at how they kind of manhandled the defensive front of Notre Dame. But things can change. That's just one game. But we got a text here on the Titan MR text line from Jimmy. He wants to know my thoughts on Arch Manning. Here are my thoughts on Arch. Arch did not play well. Texas is damn good, and they're going to be fine. They lost. They had the ball inside the 5-yard line. I think, JC, was it 3 or 4 times?
Yes.
And came away with 0 points.
Right.
I thought the key to the entire football game was Matt Patricia. I thought his plan against Sarkisian confused both him and Arch. They disguised. There wasn't a whole lot of Texas dudes running open, and usually Sark dials them up. But they still had a chance. Texas is very good, and they will win, and they will be in the hunt because of their defense.
Yeah, no, that's right.
I mean, hell, Ohio State had 200 yards of offense. Think about that.
Yeah. No, I mean, very good defensive teams. Certainly, look, folks, pump the brakes, please, on Arch Manning. I think it's kind of unfair with the way they set him up like this. Now, granted, he's on all the TV commercials. He's the one who's got the last name. But the kid hasn't played. And to throw him out there against an Ohio State team in that environment and expect Heisman Trophy numbers is not realistic. And so that's what happened. And certainly he was overwhelmed by that team. And it didn't come as a big surprise to me as I think it did to others. But you're right. They had their chances. They just didn't convert. But he wasn't great. No, he wasn't. But that team's going to win the next 3 games overwhelmingly because if you look at their schedule, there's nobody on it until they come to Gainesville. So expect a team that's got a lot more confidence, that's going to have a lot more swag, if you will, when they get to Gainesville than the one that left Columbus. I'm certain of it. If you look at their schedule, they're going to get better in the next 3 weeks. But you're exactly right. Matt Patricia won that battle against Sark. He's an NFL defensive coordinator. The guy is known for defense. New England Patriots. I mean, my God, he knows what he's doing. Ohio State gets these coordinators, QB. They're unbelievable. They've been good for 10, 15 years. These coordinators that they have at Ohio State always end up getting jobs. It goes all the way back to Tom Herman, this guy that left, the defensive coordinator that left from last year's team and went to Clemson. I mean, it's incredible.
No. Last year's defense coordinator went to Penn State. That's
Penn State. I beg your pardon. Penn State, sure. But it's just incredible, these guys that they've got on staff that go in and out of there. Chip Kelly had a great year as an offensive play caller for Ohio State. My God, you couldn't have a better year. So I think it's just amazing to me what Ohio State's able to bring in and bring out. And look, they'll be in the picture. That kid's a freshman. He's going to get better as well. So
he'll be fine.
Yeah,
he'll be fine.
Those 2 teams are going to be in the thick of all of it. Yeah.
Andy's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Mel. Shane, what advice do you think Peyton and Eli will give Arch about QB sneaks? It didn't matter. He had no chance because the offensive line got blown up. Zero chance in either one of those QB sneaks that they called for him. Look, it's not like Texas went and laid an egg at Vanderbilt, right?
Right.
They're playing the defending national champs at their ballpark.
Yeah.
They will be fine.
Yeah.
I think they're still extremely talented.
Well,
Daryl's text on the Titan MR text line says, "Good morning, guys. Shane, were you surprised that Tramel Jones was the backup Saturday night?" I'd heard they were probably going to play him. What I was surprised at, things you can't see in practice, are how a guy handles the game, how he handles the pocket. Does he throw on time? Does he know where to go with the football? As I said, I was blown away. He looked like a damn Steve Spurrier type quarterback, taking his steps and letting it go, as coach likes to call it. So we'll see how that goes. But he was very, very good, I thought.
How much do you think he's going to play, QB? How much do you think he's going to play?
Well, he's not going to play any unless DJ's hurt. But DJ was very rusty. DJ's going to have to play better than he did the other night against South Florida.
Well, I mean, do you think he will?
Well, hell, I hope it. I mean, you as a fan and as a coach, you hope your players play better. DJ even said in his press conference that he didn't play very well.
Yeah, well, he hasn't played at all. I mean, he hasn't.
Right. Yeah. This is a text from Rick and Jupiter on the Titan MR text saying, QB, do you think Miami and Florida State were that good, or Bama Notre Dame that bad? Every team we play this year looks good.
No, they're better. They're better.
I thought Miami and Florida State were great. Look, JC's going to sit here and talk about Alabama going 6-6. I can see Alabama losing 3 or 4 games, but Alabama's still a good football team. But what Florida State did to them was extremely impressive. But Miami, I was shocked at the team speed. I shouldn't be shocked. That's stupid to even say. But their receivers that they got, and somebody here talked about all their guys being from the portal. They are. Their whole team's built around portal guys. But their physicality at the line of scrimmage and their speed was impressive to me.
I mean, I don't care if it's from the portal, if it's from the backyard, or what high school they came from. They're still on the team, and they are much better. I mean, defensively, you can tell how much better they are than that team Cam Ward played with last year. I mean,
I agree.
It's not even close. And let me tell you what irritates me, QB. We're going to watch Ohio State fumble around a garbage schedule. We're going to watch Clemson play in the ACC. Florida Gators, after watching these other teams this week, I know you're tired of hearing this, and I'm tired of hearing it and talking about it. You're talking about LSU and Miami in back-to-back games on the road. You're talking about Texas and Texas A&M back-to-back. Later on, you got Mississippi and Tennessee looked damn good, I thought, with that Joey Aguilar. I thought he was excellent. You got them back.
He's way better. He's way better than Nico.
Way better. Not even close. Nico stinks. And then you got Georgia in the middle of all this nonsense. Florida's got the card stacked against them. But I'm just glad that they came out of this practice game with zero penalty. No penalties and nobody hurt. And you're going to need it because these next 5 games are going to tell you a lot.
The LSU Miami stretch is just ridiculous now.
Crazy.
Barone 71 on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plum, says only Will Miles wanted to pretend LSU and Nussmeier are no good. Yeah, I've never understood his thought process on that, because Garrett Nussmeier is a baller.
Who?
He's everything you want from a quarterback, and LSU has dudes everywhere.
Who was saying
everywhere?
Who was saying that they weren't?
Will Miles. He does this Read and Reaction magazine and stuff.
Never heard of him.
Yeah, he's not a huge fan of Garrett Nussmeier for some reason. I don't know what games he watches.
Yeah, well, in spite of Brian Kelly and his ineptitude, I think Garrett Nussmeier's done great things. And Brian Kelly, he's got to learn how to take points when they're there on the board for you and the clock's running out. I mean, some things he does is kind of confusing. But again, that kid made that catch in the end zone that night. That was a touchdown. Same thing happened with South Carolina yesterday. I'm tired of these officials. The game is turning into the NFL with the way the clock runs, with the 2-minute warning now, which I like. But you've got these rules, and it just feels like you got these paid players everywhere, and it's okay. I get it. It's how it's changed, but man, it's starting to look more and more like NFL when they're reviewing touchdown catches. QB, those were touchdowns. And I'm just sick of it. I don't want to see. So the ball moves 2 centimeters as the guy hits the ground. What's it supposed to do? I don't. Bothers me. It bothers me, QB. It bothers me.
Can we talk about my Big 12 preseason prediction of who's going to win that league?
Yeah, we can talk about it. Who is it?
The Utah Utes just went out to L.A. and just destroyed.
So I'm an idiot.
Destroyed the Bruins.
I'm an idiot who listened to this person, Kelly Stewart, on text. Kelly in Vegas. What an idiot. Picked 3, had a parlay, lock of the week. Parlay Virginia Tech, UCLA, and Northwestern, and not one of those games is close. So
I'll tell you what. I was impressed with Virginia Tech. I think they're going to surprise some people in the ACC.
You were impressed with Virginia Tech? Okay.
I was very impressed. Offensively, they're very good. Defensively, good. Did you watch the game, JC? The punt returns won the game for South Carolina.
I know, but I didn't see any touchdowns from Virginia Tech on the offense.
It doesn't have to be about touchdowns, JC. It's just about the way they play.
It's about getting the ball in the end zone, QB. That's what it's about.
Well, they will against the ACC teams. Trust me. I think South Carolina's pretty solid, but watch. Virginia Tech is going to be in the upper tier of the ACC.
I'll take the under. I'll take the under.
All right. We'll put a wager on that. I bet you they win at least 7 games.
You think they're going over 7? All right. I don't have their schedule in front of me. I'll text
Give me another lunch. I mean, I'll be eating 3 lunches for the rest of the year.
Okay, free lunch guy. All right.
Electronics World, integration and design specialist for smart home automation and entertainment. It's that time of the year, folks. Let Electronics World bring the Florida Gators, college football, and the NFL to your living room. Go check them out, electronicsworld.com. All right. Everybody's talking about in Notre Dame, if they had a veteran quarterback, they would have won. Well, they didn't have a veteran quarterback. They have a very young, talented guy that played well. I think he's really good.
Yeah, I mean, that's
kind of, JC?
Yeah, I don't think and Notre Dame's got anything to worry about. I think a lot of these teams that lost, with the exception of Alabama, are going to be fine, mainly Texas and Notre Dame and even Clemson. If you just look at what's ahead of them, I think they can handle it. I do. Alabama's, though, I think they've got problems. I know you think they're going to only lose 3 or 4 games. That's still not.
Well, they're going to lose, in my opinion. And again, this is all because of what we saw the other day. They could get some stuff fixed or whatever, but their tough games are Georgia, LSU, and who else?
I think Auburn's going to be real. They're live this year. I think the fact that Jackson Arnold showed a little life for once.
He still struggles throwing the football, though. It blows my freaking mind. They got probably the best receiving core in America, and he can't get the ball to him.
I think Oklahoma is going to be a struggle, and I think Vanderbilt's going to be a struggle for them. Tennessee is going to
Vanderbilt will not be a struggle.
Tennessee is going to be a struggle. It's just going to be – look, that effort that defense gave us on Saturday was horrifying. And Florida State, to their credit, now I'm not trying to take anything away from FSU. This is not a 2-10 team. They have changed so much. And definitely, you're right about Gus. He has the Alabama number with a running quarterback and a guy like Castellanos who's going to do fine. But their season they'll be 4-0 going into the game with Miami at home on October the 4th in just over a month. There's no doubt, if you look at what's ahead of some of these teams, they've got a lot of upside and a lot of things to get excited about. But after week one, we always overreact. And again, as far as this game Saturday night, I don't need a bubble screen. I don't know. I mean, I saw some of those calls. He loves the bubble screens, QB. You tell me why he does that.
Who?
Billy.
Who?
Billy.
We ran like 3 of them, and one of them gained like 22 yards. The other one gained like 4. What people don't understand, again, this is what
they understand.
Nobody that understands football does not understand that every play called is not going to be successful.
Yeah,
every play called, there is a reason behind that play. When you throw screens, it's to tire out the defense for stuff later in the game, and it's to get the ball into people's hands in space.
What about on 3rd and 10?
I had 0 problems. And then if it's 3rd and 25 and they call one, it's probably to try to get the damn ball in field goal range so you don't have to kick a 60-yarder. It is unbelievable to me how people do not understand calling football games.
Okay, so let's just go ahead and say you like the way Billy calls his games? I
had 0 problem with the way he called the game last night.
No, I'm not talking about last night. I'm not talking about last night. That was a scrimmage. I'm talking about over the last 4 or 5 years.
I have not. JC, did you have a problem with any way that Ryan Grubb called the game the other day?
Yeah, they forgot.
For Alabama, I'm asking.
Yeah, they didn't run.
So my point is, here's my point. My point is, it doesn't matter what fan base you come from. Doesn't matter what recliner you're sitting your ass in a chair. For whatever team it is, when that play is done, you either say that was a good play call or a bad play call. There's nothing in between it, right? Most people just sitting their ass in the recliner, when they gain 12 yards, oh, that was a great play call. If they gain 0 yards when they run in the A gap for no yards, that's a stupid ass call. That's my point. Everybody has good and bad play calls.
Okay, all right.
It just blows my mind. It blows my mind.
Let's just be honest and just be fair and say we'll learn a lot more in the next month. So
exactly. But what I'm saying is, here's the thing: the people love the catch by Vernell Brown III. It was unbelievable. SportsCenter highlight.
Well, it was a bad pass.
My point is, if DJ takes his steps and throws it by reading it correctly, he catches it in stride and walks into the end zone.
Yeah.
But was it a good play call? Yes, it was a good play call. Was it a good play call when Jaden Ball made 10 people miss in the backfield because we didn't block anybody and scored a touchdown? Yes, people see the touchdown, say it's a great play call. Well, we executed it horribly. We didn't block anybody. He just made people miss. So there's a lot that goes into it, and it drives me insane because, as I've stated, there's never been one quarterback who play a perfect game in the history of football, in my opinion. You only play a perfect game or throw a perfect game in baseball. Okay. Has anybody called a perfect game ever at any school or any NFL team called a perfect game play calling wise? No. And this is not taking up for Billy Napier. This is not taking up for Steve Sarkisian. This is not taking up for whoever. I've called plays. I've had plays called into me to execute them. And if I make a bad decision, is it the play caller's decision, a bad call, or is it the quarterback's bad play? There's a lot that goes into it.
Okay, well,
right, I'm off
okay, that's
I'm done
good.
raising hell.
That's good. That's good. I love it. tonight we got
Nat right here on YouTube, brought to you by Quad Pump, says, Shane, do you think Billy was just keeping it simple, not showing on offense what we call plays? We had 400 something yards of offense. We missed 3 field goals, I think. Was it perfect? No. Was I surprised that our O-line struggled at times in pass protection and run blocking? Yes. But it's the first game. DJ was extremely rusty, but I didn't have one problem. And I love football, and I break down X's and O's, and I look at situations here and there. I didn't have any problem with it. And this is not being a Florida homer.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it's Long Island. All right. So tonight we got TCU and North Carolina QB. Take somebody.
What is the line?
3.5. You should know this.
This is in North Carolina, right?
Yeah.
TCU's favorite. I don't even know anything about it. Is Sonny Dykes or Spike Dykes still their coach?
Yes, Sonny Dykes. Yes.
I just don't think North Carolina's very good. But here's what I will tell you.
Yeah.
If TCU has a couple of good playmakers, they're going to be taken out of the game tonight because that's what Belichick's going to do.
Okay. Well,
I'm going to take TCU. I'm going to take the Horned Frogs, and I know nothing about them because I don't think Andy Dalton's still playing there.
It's a coin flip. I'll just take North Carolina to be different, but it's coin flip, QB. I have no idea either. The first week of college football, you really do learn more than you do probably any other week. You just don't know before the games are played going in. I mean, the wrong team was favored by 14 in Tallahassee, evidently. Nobody knew that.
Well, I don't know about that. I mean, just because they upset them doesn't mean they're the.
Well, they did. They beat them by 2 touchdowns, QB. That's a blowout. UNC. Give me UNC 3.5. I'll take it.
All right. Alberto in Miami Lakes on the Titanamore text line says, QB taught me off the ledge. Miami looks like a juggernaut. And the last time my Gators won in Miami, my parents were still in Cuba.
Wow. Hey, you know what? That's okay, but you better think about USF first and getting out of that game healthy, because the 2 road games after that, nobody in the country has those kinds of games at 3 different times in their schedule. Nobody in America has 3 back-to-backs like Florida does. Nobody.
John says on YouTube, brought to you by Quality Plumbing, Ohio State, Miami, and FSU came to play. Why did UF struggle with LIU? They didn't struggle. First of all, Ohio State struggled with Texas.
Yes.
Miami struggled with Notre Dame. Florida State beat the hell out of Alabama.
Yeah,
Alabama did not play well.
No. Carson Beck made a bad pass, and the kid made a great catch. Otherwise, it's 7-all at halftime. And we're all wondering, okay, is Carson Beck worth a damn? Yeah, it's funny how emotional the game is and how things change from 10 minutes on to the next 10 minutes. That kid makes a circus catch, but it was a miracle play right before half. And it kind of set Miami up for the rest of the night. But they played well. You're right. They are better. Certainly Florida State's better. Some of these teams in the ACC are better. And maybe Clemson will have to work hard to win that ACC championship. It won't be as big a cakewalk, maybe.
Captain Trash says, those screens are based on the receiver making a play. Let's at least throw it to the marker. No, I'm not stupid. I didn't say anybody was stupid. But sometimes you don't throw it to the marker. That's my point. It happens all the time.
Okay.
It's situational football. If it's 3rd and 20, you have 0 chance of throwing it to the marker, A. If it's 3rd and 8, yes, maybe so. But if it's not open, you don't force it. You check it down somewhere. Maybe that guy makes 2 people miss, dives forward, first down Gators. There's a lot that goes into playing quarterbacking and where to throw the football and play when calling plays. I would love to teach a class.
Well, you're doing it right now. Yeah, I mean, you've been doing it for 30 minutes. What?
All right, JC, we got to get to Mike Morgan.
All right. I love Mike Morgan. Big Mike Morgan.
Go build a nice sand castle today, JC.
Okay. All right. See you Wednesday.
That's JC joins us on the Titanamore Hotline, courtesy of Comfort 10. We'll take a quick timeout. We'll come back. We'll be joined by Mike Morgan. You're watching and listening. PodUp Matthews in the morning from the International Diamond Center Studios. We'll be right back.
Our premium sponsors are Campus USA Credit Union,
International Diamond Center,
Meldon Law, QC Kinetics, UF Health Orthopedics and Sports Medicine Institute, JF Hayden Craft Liqueurs, Florida Cracker Kitchen, Los Linderos Tequila. Gridiron sponsors are Baker Sporting Goods, Comfort Temp, Electronics World, Florida Victorious, Gallo Car Wash, Miapa Latin Cafe, Peachland Dental, Quality Plumbing, Ruse Ogre State Farm, Silverback Concrete, 84 Lumber, Big Mills Cheesesteak, Celebrate Primary Care, Dowling Sign, Gator Bait Media, Gator Dominoes, Ironwood Golf Course, Tropical Smoothie Cafe, UF Bookstores, Nest and Wow, MG&A Wealth Management. Watch and listen to us live on Facebook and YouTube. Listen to the podcast whenever on Apple or Google Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcast. Remember to like, follow, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. To become a sponsor, call my man Freddie at 352-284-3733.
What's up, everyone? I'm Mike Pouncey, and this is my twin brother Marquise Pouncey, and this is Life After Football.
Let's go. We are the owners of Tropical Distillery, and JF Hayden's is our liqueur brand.
We have 5 different flavors: a mango, a lychee, an espresso, citrus, and key lime pie. We pride ourselves on not only being a Florida-made brand, but also a cocktail solution. With that being said, cheers,
And go Gators.
Hi there, this is Coach Steve Spurrier, and I want to let you know that by popular demand, Spurrier's Gridiron Grill's delicious brunch is now served in a premium buffet. You have spoken, we have listened, and we're now serving Gainesville's only elevated buffet, complete with an omelet station, ginger sage chicken sausage, shredded short rib, and of course our chicken and waffles. Plus, you can enjoy bottomless, mimosas, and Bloody Marys. So join us every Saturday and Sunday from 11 to 3 for the best brunch in town.
Coach, you know, it always impressed me how you beat Florida State to win the 1996 National Championship.
And I was really impressed with your 06, 08, and 09 Gator teams.
And the way you coached Danny to the Heisman Trophy.
A lot like what you did with Tim Tebow.
You know, you won more SEC championships than you lost home games at the Swamp.
And you had plenty of super games in front of our Gator Nation.
Yeah, there really is something special about the Swamp.
I guess that's why we say about the Swamp, only the Gators get out alive.
To the Swamp and the Gators, with the best beverage served at Spurrier's Gridiron Grill, 100% agave Los Linderos Tequila, aged in bourbon barrels for a smoother taste.
I think you mean head beer coach, 1966 lager, a crisp, light, bodied lager for easy drinking.
Nope. Los Linderos Tequila, smooth enough to drink neat and bold enough to elevate a cocktail.
1966 lager, enjoyed on game days in the fall or whenever you need a winning cold brew.
Los Linderos Tequila.
1966 lager.
Los Linderos.
1966 lager.
Y'all stop bickering.
Okay, you're both wrong anyway. The best thing Spurrier's Gridiron Grill offers are Jerry's famous chocolate chip cookies.
Welcome back to the International Diamond Center Studios. Injuries occur whenever and however, and it's never convenient. For sprains, strains, and minor fractures, UF Health Orthocare makes it convenient for you. 7 days a week, including evenings, and walk-ins are welcome. Back to the Titan and More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Tent. We're joined by our man, Mike Morgan. Good morning, Mike. How you doing, buddy?
Shane, I'm doing great. What a great week one in college football. It's so glad to. It's such a great thing to have it back. The off season never gets shorter, but what we had really starting on Friday night, I was in Waco calling the Baylor Auburn game, going all the way till last night with the Notre Dame Miami thriller, and then even tonight, you know, I'll do a drive by on North Carolina TCU. But you've got all these top 10 matchups. You've got all these intriguing interconference matchups. I hope this is the new trend with an expanded playoff, Shane, that we will now have more and more coaches and athletic directors that are like, hey, we can take a loss in week one and still be in the playoff. Let's challenge ourselves and let's play great competition out of conference.
Yeah, I agree with that because I thought the weekend has been phenomenal. I said earlier to JC, regardless of the outcome of after watching the game, Ohio State, Texas, Miami, Notre Dame, LSU, Clemson, I think every one of those teams are going to make the playoffs.
I don't think you're wrong. I really don't. I mean, it's just like the NFL. We always call the day after, the Monday after week one on Sunday in the NFL, overreaction Monday. And that's kind of what today is too in college football. So apparently I'm supposed to believe Arch Manning is just trash. Texas is overrated. Clemson can't win a damn game. I'm not, Notre Dame is not that good. I'm not subscribing to any of that. What I am subscribing in, and I echo your thoughts on this. I mean, you and I think, have been on the same page with LSU all along. LSU's damn good. I thought Garrett Nussmeier was as good as any quarterback last year, and he's going to be the same this year. This is a different Miami team. Carson Beck, were we going to see 2023 Carson Beck or 2024? I think it's somewhere in the middle right now, but I'll tell you this much. That Miami defense is actually legitimate. Like, they are swarming. Last year, they couldn't defend anybody. So Miami even looks like a team that could be a playoff team. And so you have all these teams. The team that loses, people will overreact. I don't think you need to. The one team I think you can justifiably overreact to, and I'm sure JC had a lot of thoughts on his Tide, Alabama's in trouble. I do believe that. I just think there's it's not one thing. It's a few things that are missing. And I don't know if they get that fixed throughout this year. And if Kalen DeBoer doesn't make a playoff in his first 2 years, I'm not saying he's on the hot seat, that the buyout's insane, all that good stuff. But the bottom line is that fan base is going to be apoplectic if they have another year where they lose 4 games.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. JC says they're going to go 6-6. I don't see that happening, but his buyout I think is like 70-something million. It's going to be a interesting year for the Tide. Let's go back to Auburn. You called that game against Baylor. I watched a lot of it. I thought Jackson Arnold played well, but he basically did everything running the football. I still think Auburn has, if not one of the best receiving corps in America. For them to make noise in the SEC, they're going to have to get some type of passing game. I just didn't see much there. Do you think there's any chance down the road that, I think the kid's name is Deuce Knight, the freshman from Mississippi, could Hugh Freeze put him in the game?
I mean, he can. I don't think that's the immediate plan. I don't think Jackson Arnold played poorly. I do agree with you that you've got maybe the best tandem of wideouts in the SEC when you're talking about Singleton, the transfer from Georgia Tech, and Cam Coleman. And for much of that game, they were a non-factor, but they weren't really thrown to a bunch. They weren't targeted a bunch. It seemed like a lot of the play calling was fairly conservative. There's no question Jackson Arnold can run. He showed that against Alabama last year when he ran for over 100 yards in the win when he was with Oklahoma. But to have those wideouts and not throw the ball to him more would be a waste. And that's the part of the game I did not expect. I thought Auburn could win. I thought it'd be a close game, but I thought that we would see a little more aerial attack out of Auburn. If they're going to be really good in the SEC, like if it's going to be a true bounce back year for War Eagle, and I do believe they'll certainly win more than 5 games, they need to exploit those weapons because they're awesome wide receivers.
Yeah. Rick and Jupiter on the Titan Mart text line says, do you think we're going to hear a lot of Gator bias and downplaying the Miami win? I keep seeing and hearing a lot of excuses for Notre Dame losing and not Miami winning. Have to call a spade a spade. Miami looks like a legit contender. I agree. I thought Miami looked really good. Their coordinator, I can't think of his name. He comes from the Mike Leake tree. Did a really good job with Cam Ward last year. You saw when teams played man, which Notre Dame plays man about 90% of the time, those shallow crosses where they come in and back out were killing Notre Dame. And Carson Beck's a veteran. Whether here's what people need to remember. Doesn't matter what he did at Georgia. He's under the new team now with a new staff, a new system or whatever. And I thought he played really well last night for the most part.
I did too. Shannon Dawson is the guy you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And He's part of that tree going back to his days at Houston. Look, people forget Carson Beck was damn good 2 years ago. I mean, it's not like this kid is a project. He was really good 2 years ago. Last year, he was not. Now, he's got some mitigating factors. They led the nation in drop passes. Their running game, think about this. Georgia won the SEC with a passing attack that wasn't really good, a running game that was bottom third in the SEC, a defense that was good but not Kirby Smart good, and they still won the SEC. That's how you know the culture of your program is pretty damn good. But it wasn't all Carson Beck's fault that the offense didn't hum last year in Athens. There were a lot of things. He still throws a good ball. I still think they can win a lot of games. Is he Cam Ward? No. But they're better around him. Again, they have a defense now. They've got some targets at wide receiver that can be dangerous. So I think this year's Miami team, regardless of Carson Beck, is just a better football team. And, yeah, I think they're legit. I don't think there's downplaying that win at all. Notre Dame is a good football team. I was impressed by Notre Dame as well, but I think Miami, everybody and their grandmother picked Clemson in a runaway to win the ACC. Look, Florida State looked pretty good. I mean, they really did. You add that to Miami, I don't think there's anybody else, with all due respect to SMU. But think about this, Shane. I couldn't help but wonder, I've wondered this for years. My biggest question, as I sit here now down in Palm Beach County, what the hell has happened to the state of Florida and college football? Like, when we were growing up, it wasn't uncommon to see all three Florida teams in the top 10 or at least the top 20. And that just doesn't happen anymore. This could be the year it does. Like, if Florida turns out to be legitimate, and they got big games coming up, and that LSU staring you right in the face after you get by USF, and I agree with you, that's a scary team. But what if Florida State, Miami could all be in the top 20, top 15 again this year? It's not out of the realm of possibility.
Agreed. Mike, we got a text on the Titan Mark text line from James. He wants to know, who surprised you the most this weekend in college football?
Oh, it's got to be Florida State. I know that's not a popular opinion on the show, but look, I have a lot of friends during my time at Florida that went to Florida State, and I've been talking to them throughout the off season. They were not crazy about the Castellanos pickup, right? I mean, they were not sitting there and holding a parade for that pickup in the portal. They knew they picked up enough guys on the line of scrimmage to be better, right? And they knew that Gus Malzahn was certainly what the doctor ordered. I mean, it almost was like under the radar because UCF was not good. I mean, you could make a case that he failed, quite frankly, as the head coach there. And so a lot of people kind of thought, well, Gus Malzahn, that's such a 2005 storyline, but this is 2025. Gus Malzahn, the luster has kind of worn off. Well, it really hasn't. When you give him the type of quarterback, a running quarterback like Castellanos, you give him just enough weapons. But here's the other thing that stood out to me in that game, Shane. Florida State was simply more physical than Alabama. I don't know how that happens. I'm pretty sure, I'd have to talk to my recruiting gurus out there. I'm pretty sure Alabama has more 5-stars than Florida State does, but Florida State took it to them. They were the more physical team. So for me, even though I thought that game had the potential to be close, I sure as heck didn't see that coming.
I did not either. Andy's question on Facebook Live brought to you by Mellon Law. Mike, what's your take on the NFL rule the NCAA now uses on determining catches? They seem to overrule 2 TDs this weekend.
I think it's brutal. I tweeted this last night at Morgan on Air, watching another, what's clearly a touchdown to me, be called back. Some guy posted like a super slow-mo of the touchdown grab in the South Carolina game, and I'm sitting there yelling at my TV during the LSU Clemson game when it was clearly a touchdown caught by the LSU wide receiver, and they overturned that. Look, I get it. By the letter of the law, the referees, they're not missing these calls. They're calling what they are told, that you've got to survive the ground, and if the ball moves a millimeter, when he hits the ground, and then therefore he didn't complete the process. I know the rule. The rule needs to be changed. The rule needs to be changed. For 100 years we played the sport of football, where if a guy caught it and got his feet in bounds and had possession, that's it, touchdown. You didn't wait to see what happened to the football after he rolls around on the ground. It defeats the spirit of the rule. A catch is a catch. That should be a catch. But we are playing this ridiculous game where we've got it's like how they have to use a special film, right? When these like science guys, when they're trying to do a slow motion video of a hummingbird and you're watching the wings go, in slow motion. That's what we're doing in football right now. We're doing this super slow motion film. And the football's going to move a millimeter or two. But if he catches it in the end zone, it's just like a running back. Once you cross the goal line, it's a touchdown. It doesn't matter what happens afterwards. So by the letter of the law, they're doing what they're told. I think the letter of the law needs to be changed.
I agree at 1,000%. Gallo Car Wash, locally owned by UF alum, and the only car wash that provides NIL opportunities to Gator athletes. Locations on Northwest 13th Street, Williston Road, and coming soon to Jonesville. A few more minutes with Mike Morgan here, talk a little college football on the Titanable Highline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Mike, I don't know if you got to see any of the Florida game. They got USF coming in this week. Obviously, USF upset win over ranked Boise State. They got Byron Brown, who can cause some problems at quarterback. Just your thoughts on the upcoming game against the Bulls.
Well, I'm a big fan of their coach. I think, quite frankly, although Tennessee's still been good, when they lost Golish, the offense it's not quite as dominating, particularly in the passing game. I thought that was a good hire. And apparently, and you've been talking about this game. I listened to your show when I'm not on it. You've been talking about this game for months. Like, do not just sleep on USF. And you're right. They have just enough talent to make you uncomfortable. And if you don't show up and play the game the way you're capable of, they can make it really uncomfortable, if not scary. So, I for all those reasons, though, I like the matchup, Shane. I want to see Florida get challenged. You can't just have two cupcakes before you go to Baton Rouge. You need to be challenged a little bit, in my eyes. You've got to see what Lagway can do against competition. I mean, that on Saturday night was, in essence, a scrimmage against your JV team. You used to do that in high school, whether it was football or basketball. Like, all right, we'll go ahead and play the JV. That's what that was. You learned nothing from that game whatsoever, but you will in this game. I do believe that. You will figure some things out in this game and see a Florida team that I think most of us believe is Billy's most talented team since he's had the job in Gainesville. So that should start showing up now on a game where you've got competition where it's not just take your pick of play, go through the Rolodex, and no matter what you dial up, you're just so much better at every position, it doesn't matter. That's not going to be the case with USF. They've got some good athletes. You got a lot of those Florida kids that are under-recruited, 2-3 stars that don't get a look from Florida, Miami, Florida State, and they're always out full of you-know-what and vinegar to try to prove everybody wrong. So don't get caught in that trap. Just don't do it. Get focused. Don't look ahead. Play your best game and have something positive to come away with rolling into LSU.
Mike, I don't know if you got to see Tennessee play, but I've never been a fan of Nico. I thought he was their problem last year, quite honestly, even though they made the playoffs. I'm not saying Joey Aguilar is the next coming, but I think he's a more solid quarterback. Did you get to see the Vols play at all?
I did. I thought Aguilar was actually pretty impressive. I didn't know what to expect because I didn't see him at App State. I didn't follow him at UCLA. I know Tennessee fans have been mourning the loss of Nico as if, the kid was the best thing since sliced bread, when in actuality, he really wasn't. They won games running the football last year. I thought Aguilar showed himself pretty well. Is he going to be in a year that's loaded of really good quarterbacks in the SEC, maybe historically good? Is he going to be in the upper third, upper half? Probably not. But he's good enough. He's good enough surrounded by what Tennessee has. You know, that's a good win. It's a Syracuse team that had double-digit victories a year ago. I realize they lost a lot of guys from that team. It's on a neutral field, and Joey Aguilar showed himself fine. I think Tennessee is still going to be in the thick of things. I don't think they're tier one. My thoughts on who the tier one teams haven't really changed at all. But they're certainly not going to take this major step back that a lot of people thought because they lost Nico. And I'll say one other thing on this, Shane, real quick. Every coach in America that doesn't have a vested interest in Tennessee is pulling for Tennessee. And you want to know why? Because they don't want to see a trend start where you have NFL-style holdouts right before spring football by your quarterback that's already agreed to financial terms. That would completely set the sport off its axis and upside down. You don't want to see that hurt Tennessee, and you wouldn't mind seeing Nico fail miserably at UCLA.
Yeah, which he's going to. I just don't think he's very good at all.
Yeah.
Mike, good stuff as always. We'll be having you each week moving forward. We appreciate your time. And you're calling Arizona State and Mississippi State, correct?
Yeah. I'll be in Stark, Vegas. That's a 7-point game. Arizona State, the defending Big 12 champs, playoff team. Mississippi State's better. I don't know how good they really are yet, but with Blake Shapen healthy, they're a different football team. I think Jeff Lebby can still coach. They got a chance to pull off an upset that would get everybody's attention if they can do it. So looking forward to being back in Vegas.
Awesome. Appreciate your time. Have a good week, and we'll talk to you next week, my man.
Yeah, enjoy the holiday, everybody. Great to be back with you, Shane. Looking forward to it.
Yep, that's Mike Morgan joining us on the Titan More Hotline, courtesy of Comfort Temp. Hope everybody enjoyed the program today. We'll be discussing more college football tomorrow on the program and getting ready for the South Florida Bulls. Have a great Labor Day, and we'll see you tomorrow. Take care.